There's a warning we could be facing a national crisis if gyms and leisure centres don't get the support they need over the next few months. And this is according to ukactive. They represent thousands of gyms and leisure centres across the country. And the CEO of ukactive is Huw Edwards. Good morning, Huw.
Good morning, Claire. How are you?
This is bonkers, having to turn the temperatures down. Is this already happening?
It is, unfortunately. My members need help now and for the period of the energy crisis. And it's actually a little bit worse than that. I mean, we're now seeing a steady flow of facilities rationalising their services or closing part of their services due to the heavy energy dependency, especially in swimming pools. And so what we're seeing now, especially in places across Shropshire as well, is a real impact on local community services, which will no doubt impact the physical, mental and social well-being of your listeners.
See, this is a difficult one because if you've got a membership to a fitness club, a private members club, and they've got all the facilities, the gym, tennis, and you know, swimming pool, jacuzzi, and everything else, I can understand from the owner's point of view, but you're not getting your full service there. If they're having to shut down the jacuzzis and the saunas, you're not getting what you've paid for, are you?
Well, it's a very challenging time. You're 100% right, and my members are trying to do everything at the moment to make as efficient an operation as possible to avoid price increases. But the reality is, Claire, that you can actually face closure of these facilities going forward over the coming weeks and months. And what does that mean? That means that your listeners will lose access to swimming lessons, mental health services, programs for older people, long-term health conditions, and disabled people. And that is a nightmare scenario if you're going to lose those facilities in your local area.
When you've been speaking to your members then, just make this a reality for us and tell us what sort of, the worst kind of conversations you're having. Are some of them saying they're literally, if things don't improve, they're going to have to shut?
Look, Claire, the facilities are closing now. I mean, they're closing now week by week, and that at the moment is a steady flow. And I don't want that to become a flood. That is the reality of a situation where you've seen energy costs increase by 200% to 300%, and they're doing everything they can to reconcile that with revenue, without the reality of trying to put that pressure back on your listeners who have already got cost of living challenges themselves. And there's only so much we can do through rationalisation of services, efficiencies, reduction in staff, which is a nightmare. So you're looking at a reality of a situation where even with doing that, there is a gap, and the energy crisis created that.
Is the government giving them any support, help at all?
Well, the energy price guarantee, which has come in for all businesses across the country in September, has avoided catastrophe for the moment because you were looking at unregulated energy prices in October. We're now in conversation with the government about a level of financial support. But as you saw, and your listeners would have seen on Monday with the new Chancellor setting out a more austere view of what's going to happen going forward, how we get that support for businesses beyond April is going to be a defining moment for the sector and a defining moment for the services that your listeners use.
But what can be done here, Huw? I mean, if these all go out of business, I mean, we're just going to be ending up with a mess here. So what can happen? What do you want, and what chance of you getting it is there?
Well, I have no doubt that the conversations I'm having with government, there's a shared ambition to avoid a physical and mental health crisis in this country if you see the closure of these facilities, because they are the engine room of activity in this country with millions of people using them. Now, we need to see bespoke support. We need to see changes in VAT, changes in business rates, ring-fence funding for local authorities to support public sector leisure so we can weather this storm. Now, I understand that every sector is in the same position right now, but what's more important than your listeners' health?
Yeah, that's good to talk to you. Thank you very much, Huw. That's CEO of ukactive, Huw Edwards on BBC.